Coming up next on the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast.
What makes you a leader? Feeling that right now. Like I said that, I don't even know how many times. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, but I have to.
From your first dollar to your first million, welcome to the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast, presented by ZenMade. Join your host, Stephanie Pipkin, founder of Serene Clean, as she shares proven tips, tricks, and hard-earned lessons. Whether you're just starting out or ready to scale, get ready to discover how to build your own cleaning empire. Let's roll up our sleeves and dive in.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Filthy Rich Cleaners podcast. I am your host, Stephanie from Serene Clean. And this episode is going to be pretty loosely organized. Mostly it's going to be being vulnerable and sharing that this past week of work at Serene Clean has been one of the most challenging for us in probably the history of the company. And I'll go into why. We lost 4 full-time cleaners in the past 10 days, 3 of them being this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, bam, bam, bam. This has never happened before. And it has been very emotionally challenging on all of us. And I'm feeling a lot better today. I'm feeling much more positive today, but I'm not going to lie, guys, like Monday and Tuesday, I was struggling emotionally and just feeling incredibly dejected. And I'm sharing that to let you know that even I, the beacon of positivity that I am, can get down about the state of my business and things that feel very much out of my control. And I think that that's the hardest part of this all is when we hire and we are not just depending on us, but we're depending on others, that loss of control can be incredibly scary. And I've talked about so many times before on how easy it is to fall into cynicism and wanting to not trust other people because it feels like they're just going to screw you over. And I know every single one of you has experienced this. I know you have gotten screwed over or somebody did something incredibly unexpected and you had to either make hard decisions, you had to go back out in the field, whatever. Like we've all had to go through different things at various stages of our business, even if you're just starting out or you're just trying to hire. I mean, I know I've had conversations with several of you who you're like, I tried to hire once and it was so bad. I am so scared to do it again. And I feel you. And I know that what I'm about to tell you is probably going to make you feel even more nervous or more sure that we should just stay solo. We should just, stay small and not try to expand or keep things at a size where it doesn't feel scary. But I will tell you that it has been scary at every stage of business because it means adding more and more variables that I cannot control. And that means that when bad things happen, and especially when bad things happen one after another, and it just feels like this, do you know what a dung beetle is? Well, dung beetles, they roll a giant ball of shit and they push it around. And I think they live in it or they eat it. I can't remember. But I, this week, feel like the dung beetle. And I feel like I'm eating shit, guys. But it's getting better. And let me just go into it. So last week we had somebody quit without notice. And so all of these cleaners are full-time cleaners. All of them are out of training. All of them have full schedules. Okay. So that's another thing. It's not unusual for somebody who just got out of training to realize this isn't for me or whatever. So that makes this 10 times harder. So first cleaner, she quits, and I'm going to give you guys the reasons behind all of this as much as I can from a privacy standpoint. She quit specifically because the physicality of the job, and she had been calling in a lot, and we kind of saw it. I mean, really, these first 3, we saw it coming. The 4th one that happened yesterday that we had to fire, totally unexpected. And I'll try not to get emotional about it. Because she's worked for me for 4 years and we had to fire her yesterday, but I'll save that for last and I will go in chronological order. So last week, I think it was Thursday, maybe. I don't even remember. It's all a blur. This the past few days are just a blur. I'll try to be direct here and stay organized, but I'm still very emotional right now about all of this and I'm trying to not be. So she quit because of the physicality of the job, and she had been calling in a lot, and we kind of, as a management team, were like, ooh, like not feeling good because of calling in. And then it was like, this job is too physical. I can't do this. And we asked obviously for a notice even through the end of the week. And she was like, no, I want to spend the time looking for a new job. Okay, fair enough. And none of these staff members had prior, well, actually, no, that's not true. This particular staff member did not have prior, like any issues when it comes to performance or attitude or anything like that. So it was quite disheartening, but we're like, okay, we're okay. Like it's fine. On Monday of this week, so today is Thursday when I am recording this, we had a cleaner who had been on her 2 weeks notice. She did give a notice, and she has been having a lot of issues over the past couple months. And I might have mentioned it before. I can't remember if I talked about this particular cleaner on any episodes before. She has got a lot of issues, and we tried to help her the best we could from like an emotional standpoint, but there was a lot of boundary crossing and a lot of calling out last minute and putting things on the management team that was very inappropriate to do so, accusing us of things as well that of, gossiping or anything, like very digging for things, right? And then come Monday, she's at our team meeting, everything is fine. Immediately after, she calls out, and this is all over Slack, so this is over message, and she starts just going off in very nonsensical ways, like saying just frankly crazy things, guys, crazy things. And so I start typing a response saying, hey, this is not appropriate. Like, this is a workplace. You cannot speak to us this way, basically. And then she says, yeah, keep fucking typing. Or something along those lines, but using the F word. And that's where Stephanie snapped. Not proud of it. And I was, so don't do what I'm about to say, guys. We all have our limits. And I wish I hadn't said this. And I said something along the lines of, quote, oh, you want a fucking phone call. And I'm just like going off. So I lost my temper. My heart was absolutely racing. I start crying. And again, this is like, I'm alone here in my office, obviously. And I'm just so mad. Like, I'm so mad because I know the history of this staff member, and what she's saying is absolutely insane, right? Now looking back, it was very much intentional, I think. So anyway, in the manager chat, Crystal, who you just saw last week, voice of reason, is like, Stephanie, stop. And I'm like, okay. Just like, I need to walk away from my phone. I need to cry. Like, this is a lot. And so Crystal's like, are we all good? Like, schedule's fucked anyway. Are we good to fire her? And I'm like, yeah, get her out of here. So we fire her, and obviously for insubordination, disrespect, and all of the above. And, just there's so many policies broken when it came to that. And she had mentioned in her rant something about not getting like withholding unemployment, and, fear of retaliation, and just all of these types of words that one would use if they are looking to get unemployment. And so this is a lesson here, guys, this is why it is so important to document everything that staff members do when it comes to call-ins. Did they follow your call-out procedure? Are they behaving in ways that are against any of your policies? You have to have every staff member sign onboarding documentation. So we have I don't even know, 20 documents or something like that for our new staff members to hire. And so she was in clear violation of several different things that she had signed and agreed to. So she will not be getting unemployment over my dead body, frankly, because she was being very disrespectful. And so we think she did not want to quit. She wanted to get fired. Because when you get fired, it's a lot easier. Like, if you quit, you can't get unemployment. But if you get fired, you can. And so this is also the staff member that a couple months ago when I was up in Wisconsin approached me about opening a Serene Clean, in a different area. Like, she wanted to partner with me. And then from there, it went downhill. So I don't know if that's correlated or whatever, but I think she was acting very volatile in an effort to get fired, and we were not having it. And we were trying to be very understanding because, she had, some mental health things going on, and we're super understanding about that. We offered up the EAP, which is our, free free therapy and like suggesting that, but just like constant boundary crossing of what is acceptable to say to your coworkers, your managers, things like that. Again, very accusational, but this was the straw that broke the camel's back, and she was only supposed to work through Friday this week anyway. So it wasn't that big of a deal. And obviously, I mean, we can't have people speak to us that way. So lesson learned, again, I've said this before, like not losing your cool, especially when people are goading you. And honestly, I am a bit surprised that I did that. It was just it was a sudden reaction, and yeah, just walk away from the phone, guys. Do not do what I just did. Okay. Because that is ammunition in their pocket. So do not lose your cool. Deep breath. I should have taken a deep breath and said, don't even respond. Just stop typing. And so luckily it didn't go too far. No issues. And of course she was totally fine then when we fired her. She got exactly what she wanted because she was like, okay, all my supplies are returned. Like immediate switch from like crazy to totally fine. So yeah, clearly it's all good though. Again, like we have everything documented in place. I mean, insubordination clearly was occurring. So anyway, that one happened. And then that was Monday. And then Tuesday rolls around and another staff member who was on her 2 weeks notice. So again, we already had, we knew these people were leaving, but we thought we had time and the schedule was going to be fine because we have new folks starting and they're in training. But training takes time and we can't just send them in. And so Tuesday rolls around and another cleaner who she was supposed to work through next week, she moved. And so that's why she was leaving. And she said, hey, like literally 20 minutes before her first appointment is supposed to start, the drive isn't worth it for me. I'm done. I'm done today. Like I'm not going to these cleanings today. So again, full-time cleaner, right? That was supposed to work through next week. And so, I'm like, hey, like, is there anything we could do financially to make it worth your time? Like even through the rest of the week, left me on red, didn't even respond. Right. So this is a real thing, guys. This exactly, unfortunately, what you're going to deal with, especially when somebody's on their notice. They really don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. They're out of the door. So one of the takeaways is, if possible, you can lower their hours a bunch, or they have the last dibs on hours. So if you have multiple cleaners available, just try not to rely on that cleaner as much as possible, especially for things like solo cleans or anything like that. When possible, honestly, we didn't have any wiggle room this week because of what I'm describing. Like obviously we're already short staffed and our on-call cleaner, Hannah, is training this week. So it's like, what do we do? So we actually pulled Hannah, who was training, and the new hire, and we sent them to cover one of the appointments at least so that we didn't have to cancel and rearranged other things. Okay. So this is all happening. And then yesterday's situation started on Friday, and I don't think I'm going to go into full details right now. I'm not really ready to share. And I also do want to respect some privacy as well. But one of my staff members who's been with me for 4 years got caught in dishonesty, deep dishonesty around a topic that we cannot be dishonest about. Like it's the most important thing in our industry, which is, items being picked up and not returned, specifically monetary items. And so a lot of denial, things caught on camera. And this has been like, my whole weekend was just, the emotional toll. This was so hard. This is and I'll talk about this more when I'm like ready, but this has been one of the pivotal decisions that I've ever made in the history of my business, was yesterday, of saying we have to terminate employment. And if I did not do that, I cannot claim integrity as a core value. If I did not do what we had to do yesterday, knowing it's going to absolutely fuck us on schedule, knowing the finances are going to be potentially heavily affected. We are going to have to skip cleanings. Managers are out cleaning today. The consequences of our decision was very real, and it came at the worst time. Of course, bad things never happen when it's a great time for a bad thing, but considering bam, 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 3 full-time cleaners done, and then this to happen, that was all in our decision-making process. And I'm not going to lie, there was a lot of back and forth on the management team on like, is there any way that we could overlook this or come back from it? Is there any way that it could be forgiven and trust could be rebuilt? And I'm just like, no. If we did not let this person go, then how can we be leaders? How can we say that we do the hard things? How can we say that we make the decisions that are right for the business and the entire team if the reason we're not, like, we would keep this person on is because it would temporarily screw up the schedule, or we really like them? That's not, like, when it comes to like the morals and hard decisions, it does not matter how much you like a person, because this is, I mean, one of my long-term favorite staff members. So she might even be watching this right now, because I know she watches the podcast. So we're going to talk about it on Monday as a team, and we'll share that we let this person go. And yeah, like I feel, yeah, I still feel like a knife in my chest on this one. And I want to reiterate to you guys, like, it is okay to be incredibly disappointed. I am. It is okay to be hurt. Like, we can all say this is just business. That does not take out that you become incredibly connected to these people. And I know a lot of you have been, betrayed or had situations by people you became very close with in your business. And that's exactly what I'm dealing with right now. You are seeing my raw, like, shit feelings. And just on top of all of the other things that happened this week when it came to staffing and the frustrations that I am feeling, it just, like, I'm just hurt. I'm really, really hurt. And I know that they're hurting too, and that they made a poor choice, and they know they wish that they could take it back, but they can't. And you can love somebody, it doesn't mean you don't let them go, kind of thing. And in our business, like, you will develop a lot of love and care for your staff, but you have to protect the sanctity of what makes you a leader, what makes you a business that people can trust and count on. And that sometimes, and I'm feeling that right now, includes making incredibly difficult decisions that you do not want to make. I did not want to do this. Like, I said that this past week, I've said it, I don't even know how many times. Fuck, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this, but I have to. And just having that conviction of, like, we can do hard things. We can do the things that we never thought we would be capable or even have to do. In my mind, I've always thought in my head, like, if something like that happened, it would be an easy decision. And it was a black and white decision of what needed to happen. It's just actually doing it was, like, so freaking hard. And so, I want you guys to know that even I, with all of my wisdom and years, I struggle deeply sometimes with these things. And you're never, I think, going to, unless you turn into a billionaire sociopath like Elon Musk, or I don't know, like Amazon King or something, where you can just, like, shut it off maybe. I don't know if you'll ever turn that off. And maybe it's already very separate for you. That's just not me. And I know that a lot of us that get into this industry specifically, we have very big hearts, and we care deeply, and we're really empathetic, and we're fixers. We like to fix people's problems. That's what makes us very good at what we do. And so that opens ourselves up to a lot of hurt and heartache. And again, coming back to what I opened up this conversation about, of trusting and being hurt, I know that happened. I know that choice has a lot of consequences. I am not going to let any of the things that happened this week make me say I shouldn't hire, or people suck, or anything like that. These people made these decisions. That does not mean all people are like that. And, basically when what are we going to do? Like, how are we actually, like, going into problem solving mode? Because that was one of the biggest things, is like, God, we're screwed, right? So managers are cleaning. We have had to rearrange the schedule. We asked all of our staff members, we just said, hey, like, we are going into a lot of short staffing and a lot of appointments that need coverage. if anybody wants more hours, even on one particular day, like we usually don't do OT, because obviously clients aren't paying like more just because we have to pay OT. If anybody's open to more hours, please let us know, but no pressure, right? We never want anybody to feel that. That's our job as managers, to feel that panic, not them. And several folks reached out and said, yep, I can pick up this. I can pick up this. And so our team is really stepping up, and they don't even know what happened yet. They don't know that we just went through all of this. And I'm going to, obviously talk about this on Monday's meeting, which by the time this goes live, like I'll have had that meeting a couple days ago. And I think it's very important to respect your team with honesty. Obviously, you need to respect privacy as well, but I think it's really important to be very candid with why people are let go or why people left. If it's, and obviously if it's just like personal reasons or whatever, that's kind of irrelevant. But I think do not leave your team in the dark. And also when you have to make a tough decision like we did, this is a again, line in the sand of like, whoa, that happened to that person. The management are capable of making very tough decisions, and being respected by my team is incredibly important, and it should be important to you. It doesn't mean you can't be liked. It doesn't mean you need to be feared, but they need to respect and trust that you have the best interest of the business at the forefront. And even when you're scared, even when it's tough, like they need to be able to rely on you. That was in my mind the whole time of like, this is for the rest of the team. We have to do the hard thing for the rest of the team. And so a lot of them picked up hours already. We were able to rearrange and kind of accommodate the schedule. When it came to the clients, the accounts, we sent an email and we were very honest, saying that, something, again, respecting privacy is forefront, of course, but this unexpected staffing change had to happen. This is the plan. We have these days not covered. Obviously, we're not going to charge you for those ones. These are commercial accounts, and just being very open and communicative. These accounts that the changes are happening, we've had them for years. So it's important to understand that, they may cancel. That is always a possibility. It's a possibility at any time. And that was kind of, my managers were bringing that like concern of like, what if they cancel because we don't have coverage, like blah, blah, blah. We're not being consistent. I'm like, well, what's the alternative? It's something that we can't do. So just better to be honest. And we do have a lot of coverage. There's just a couple days that we're not going to. We have new folks coming on. Again, reiterating, go back to 2 weeks ago or whenever we posted the group interview video. If you need to remember or understand how we handle the hiring, I mean, without constantly interviewing, I don't even know. Like, we're just trying to cover like our current stuff. That's the biggest thing. So yeah, managers are cleaning. I'm going to head up there next month when I can, and I'll be on call and available. By then it should be worked out. We should have new folks. So it's going to be a couple rough weeks when it comes to that. And then when people call in, like we were good today. We have 2 or 3 cleaners call in today. So it's just when you're at this scale, this is what happens. And we had zero wiggle room. So yeah, some folks are going to get canceled, and just being very, discerning on like, have we canceled on this person? What is the cleaning? And looking at every single day and say, can this be arranged? And like, the scheduling is such a Jenga puzzle, but especially in this situation of like, you have to cancel on somebody, like, what's it going to be? Or who is very flexible, that type of stuff. And we give them, discounts as an apology for the inconvenience on their next cleaning. And again, just being appropriately transparent and explaining in a very professional manner. And again, this is where ChatGPT comes in, very helpful with how to word things when you're not sure. Again, like when I was smaller, all of the appointments would have been covered. We wouldn't have had so many appointments to cover. I would have been cleaning all the time. Obviously, that's not possible. Yeah, I'm remote. So this is where we're at. So that is how we are handling it. Just a lot of schedule, Jenga, a lot. Tetris, would Tetris be the better one? I don't know. Other cleaners picking things up, canceling in a very discerning manner, open communication with our clients, and then come Monday, very open communication with our team. And again, this episode, I know it's a little all over the place. I say that every episode. I want you guys to not get disheartened. And if you do get disheartened, Every day is a new day. We know what works, guys. We know we just need to always be hiring. We know anything at any moment could happen. And if anything hasn't convinced you that you need to be hiring at all times, I hope this episode does, because you are sure as shit did I not think that this was about to happen, that this week was about to happen. And it just kept getting worse. And so it's Thursday now. Hopefully, things are looking up from my management perspective of like us all keeping positive. I mean, honestly, it's just been a lot of back and forth of like, we're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. We always get through this. And it's not like the business is collapsing, right? It's not like we need to shut down or something like that. It's just like, okay, revenue's about to take a hit. It's very frustrating because, side note, a whole other episode to talk about. Last month, we had 88 leads come in. Already this month, we've had, I think, 26 leads, and it is the 5th of the month. This is record leads. I have like thousands of dollars, potentially available that we cannot grab because of staffing right now. And that is super frustrating. Again, in 6 years of business, I've never had 88 leads in a month. That's crazy. That's crazy. And to coincide with the staffing, insanity is, it feels like ironic. Like, are you testing me right now? But it's all going to work out. I have full faith that it is. It's going to work out, and we will solve this just like we always do. We always get through everything. This is just another challenge, and we're going to look back in a year and say, holy shit, remember June? Remember June of 2025, Armageddon? But we made it through it. And I think that for me is very helpful from an emotional standpoint of thinking, like looking forward to the future and thinking back to every single time we have had a situation where I'm like, oh my God, this is the worst thing to ever happen. I can look back and cast my view back to the past and say, oh, I felt like that there. I felt like that there. I felt like that there. And look at me now. Everything worked out as it should. Maybe things went awry for sure. Maybe it didn't work out as I expected, but I'm still here. I'm still kicking. I'm still breathing. And so are you. You've made it through every single thing that has ever happened to you until this point. So why is it that when we're in the moment of the current crisis, we totally catastrophize and think that it's just going to all explode? I'm trying to put myself in the place of Stephanie a year from now, looking back at this very moment, so proud of herself that she, for the most part, kept it cool other than Monday. And I'm going to regret that. And I already do. Lesson learned. But for the most part, I did what I needed to do to protect Serene Clean. That's what this was. And that's what some of this very hard decision was, is I need to protect my baby. And that's what this is. And so I just protected it. And I'm going to be really proud of myself in a year when I look back on this. And so I invite you to also have that kind of mindset of, is what I'm doing today something that in a year from now, I'm going to look back and say, you did that damn thing. I am proud of you. I am proud of my younger self, which is you today, for what she did or what he did. And I find that helpful. And even just kind of verbalizing this is like a therapy session. We're 30 minutes into my personal therapy session right now. Even just, I already feel better of you're doing the right thing, even if it's hard, and it's going to be okay. Revenue is going to turn around. It's going to be okay. You are doing the right things. All right. You're 10 weeks in or whatever it is to 0 complaints. You have new folks starting darn near every week to accommodate all of this scheduling loss. You've got great candidates coming down the pipeline. All of these things are good. You've got a great crew. You've got a great crew. And so it's there's so many things to be positive about. There's so many things to be grateful for in this moment of, it could always get worse. and we're on the upswing. I know we are. And we will just take every challenge head on. Whatever you think your challenge is right now, you're going to get through it. And you're going to look back on this time and be proud of yourself. And if you're not proud of yourself, learn from the things that you're disappointed in yourself for doing. Just like I'm disappointed in how I acted on Monday. And I'm going to learn and do better and keep all of my inside thoughts where they belong, and don't let, thug Stephanie come out because she's angry. Anyway, guys, that's what's going on with me. Do you have a situation right now that you are really catastrophizing? Leave it in the comments. Where are you at? What are you struggling with? This too shall pass. I promise. It always does. And it's going to get better. So that's my TED Talk for today. I hope you have a great day. And I'll see you in the next episode of Filthy Rich Cleaners. Bye-bye.